Hey, hopefully a picture now, Eric. Yes, I tend to wait until it's two. Hello, everyone. Hello, Eric. I'm glad to have you here. And no problem. Just watch and enjoy. It sounds like your fingers have been busy doing much giving, and wrapping is such an art form. I feel as if I should get better at something like that after origami. Yeah, I'm sure. Do you do any creative wrapping, Eric? Or is it just being careful and tidy? It's usually about taking your time, isn't it, really? Getting those little pieces of sellotape lined up, I find is also a useful thing. Hello, Stephen. Welcome. Thank you for coming along. Yes, this is the final fall for this year. I'm going to give next week a break. I was planning to travel over to my parents, but over 4 hours on public transport, it's not a good idea. So my New Year's resolution, I think, is to get when things are much, much, much better, is to get some driving lessons. I already have a license, but I literally have not driven for 30 years. So I really do need some lessons to get me up to speed, or it could be more dangerous driving than COVID. So but it would be great just to have the option of being able to hire a car if we needed to, if we had no other option. So yeah, it's good to have some New Year's. How are we going to improve things in future? Accept where the limitations are and do what you can. Oh, it is, isn't it, Eric? Yeah, maybe I should be getting better at rapping. I always feel that's it's always quite an art form. It's those asymmetrical, difficult shapes, isn't it? They're harder to rap. Um, so this week I'm bringing along. So this is our final one of the year, as I said, and this one for me is very special. Alberto, welcome. Thank you for coming along as well, because it's a few years ago. Went to Japan. I'm lucky enough to have gone there twice. And this was a little tiny tree that was in a little basket in Tokyo airport. And we went to a little cafe, and at the counter, there's a little tiny basket. There was all sorts of different traditional pieces of origami, which the people working there had made, I guess, during points when it was a bit boring, or there weren't people. And they made them, and there's a little tiny note saying, "Gift, please take one." So this is the one I took. And I've kept it sort of flat because I guess that's how it travelled back, really. Oh, that's great, Eric. So you've got the stars on your presents. They're really nice, aren't they, those stars? I've been really enjoying them. I made over 50 stars and I was putting them in cards, and I hope some of my cards get through. Loads of them have not yet. It's really disappointing. 2.5 weeks later, and I had made every card and had folded things, and I don't think many have got through so far. It's so frustrating. It's like everything, isn't it? But you just have to be patient and just gently hopeful. So yeah, this little tree is very much traditional Japanese. Like this mixture of folding and cutting, and I just think it's so effective and lovely. And I think cuts can be allowed. It's such a nice tree. It gives it a lot more depth. I think it's really well worth it. It's a bit like that lovely prawn ages ago that we folded. Um, Again, the cuts can just, when it's been used thoughtfully, it can really add something even more special. So this is a mixture of origami and kirigami. And here's one I did earlier. I'll do it with white, and it will look like a lovely snowy tree. And you can make lots of different sizes. You can decorate them. Easy to fold flat and post to someone. Make your own little festive scene. It's just such a joy. I really enjoyed it. It also takes a little bit of time too, which is quite nice actually. Again, I can imagine that once you get into this, you'll enjoy. Oh, yes, money. That was a while back. Certainly more than a year ago. Maybe it was the previous summer. I think it was June 2020, something like that. And obviously, it's not one that I've at all designed. Yeah, it's a little bit unclear actually who designed it, but it's maybe yeah, you have a look through. I did try and ask around, and it wasn't clear who had designed it. But it's really nice. You get to do all the little segments, curls around, plus you also trim off, do some little cuts, so then you get the antennae as well. It's very effective. I did that as a summer fold, as I said, I think in 2020. It's still odd time, isn't it? Hard to get my head around time these days. But I hope you're managing, and I hope you're just sort of gently reaching out for what does make you happy. And folding always does. Yesterday, it was such an honour. I was actually asked to as a speaker on for as you know, these films are very much for my colleagues at UCH, and it's a way of offering continued sessions the only way that we really can do that, which is to keep it remote. So YouTube being a very good way to do that. Um, the lovely advantage is it's here for everybody, and I really appreciate your support, everybody, as well. But thinking particularly of those working in hospitals and of course patients as well. And yesterday I was invited to be a speaker as part of their virtual all staff briefing for staff in the hospital. So it's actually the final one for the whole year, and what an honour to be asked as well. So thinking of well-being and trying to do something nice. So actually I finished the whole session off. So the last staff briefing of the year with a 5-minute fold, which is the very simple, lovely flat festive tree. And there's about 500 people watching, which is amazing. I think that's the biggest fold I've done. Penny, hello. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming as well. So anyway, so we're going to make ourselves some little trees. And yeah, it was lovely to introduce origami to so many of my colleagues and to hear the delight, to see the delight that it brought as well. It's always a big challenge for people. And I think, if anything, origami is about encouraging people to be kind to themselves in learning something new. It's a bit hard, but the rewards of doing something you thought you could never do, is the sense of achievement is wonderful. So I just encourage that, because if you can achieve something, even if it's there, it's just helping increase your belief in yourself that you are able to overcome things. David, welcome. It's Wendy. Okay, it's Wendy, not David. Well, welcome, Wendy. I guess you're on David's YouTube account. That's absolutely fine. Grabbing a something to press on and some paper. I've just got, in this case, I've got half an A4 ready. So if you've got A4 paper, it depends how big a tree you want to make, but I've just got a piece of paper and I'm going to make a square as usual. I'm assuming you haven't got squares already. I know many of you do, but this is always for access. I show how to make your own square. So you could do a really big tree here if you had A4, or this case it's A5. And I'm just taking a corner, lining it up, squashing it down to make a nice little right angle triangle. There we go. Nice and exact. We get rid of this rectangle, so we turn it over, lifting up the flap and squashing it down. So this is the last live fold of the year. I thought it's really important we do give ourselves breaks. It's so easy to just feel you just have to, continue with everything all the time, and actually it's good for us all mentally to take times when we have a break, when we would normally go away. And I was hoping to be away, but like everyone else, I think most people have had to adapt plans. Little nick, tear that off. So I have, though, recorded a film for excellent. You got some colour paper. Excellent, Marnie or Laura. So I've recorded a film every week. So still, if you look from Saturday mornings at 8 a.m, I think I've set them. So I've recorded a film for Christmas Day, it would be, and then also New Year's Day as well. And then I'll be doing a live fold in 2 weeks' time again. So that would be, after the new year. So I hope that's okay. That's it. So, Marnie, if you had coloured paper, and if it's white on one side and coloured on the other, then coloured on this side and folding it in half so that the white's covered like that. Yeah, there we go. So done one diagonal line. Now I'll do the other diagonal line. Oh, I might have that wrong, actually. Sorry, Laura. I'm terrible at thinking out the colours. It's because I don't use that, because I think of access. No, I think I got it wrong, actually. Shall we just see? Shall we? So I just did the diagonals. Yeah. I think that this might be, say if it was the green, I think this is the green. So I just got it completely the wrong way round. Oh, you're welcome, Alberto. So we've done both diagonals. Maybe this is the coloured side. Turn it over. Yes, patience with ourselves, Alberto. That's what it's all about. and we're going to do a horizontal and a vertical line. Yeah. So Laura, that side, sorry, was the coloured and the outside white. Oh, but it is because of access. That's why I do it this way. But it just means my head's not quite there. Oh, I always get mixed up too, Marnie. Never mind. Anyway, it's about I'm learning as I go along, as you are as well, and it's all just about being kind and playful with yourself. When things aren't working, you'll figure them out. So I've done one horizontal line. I'm going to do the other. So I'm going to do the other line there. So I did the diagonals on one side, which was the coloured paper side, turned it over, and I did the horizontal and vertical. So hopefully, Laura, I don't know whether it's now coloured on the outside and pushing it together. Does that work? So hopefully, if you've done it in that order, the diagonals, turned it over, the horizontal and vertical, then you should be able to push it all together and it makes like a square. It's a little bit like the fortune teller, like so, and squash it down so it's flat. That's right. Great. Excellent. I'm glad that's good. So hopefully you've got it open at the top, gathered together at the bottom. And what I want you to do next is you've got a little page here. I want you to just pop your finger in and squash it down. And it looks like a sort of kite shape. Keep everything together there. Joys of folding into the camera. There we go. I'm squashing it down. So it's looking kind of like a kite shape. Yeah, I found recently I'd actually done some sessions in a primary school. It was quite interesting folding while obviously showing the group. And you realise that you can just about see through the paper. So you could sort of get a sense of where your lines are without looking at it. Because of course you need to fold it to others so you don't see what you're doing, which does require you to be quite familiar with what you're folding. There we go. So now turning it to the back, same thing again, one of these little pages, and pop your finger in, and again squashing it down. There we go. That's not quite in the middle, is it? There we go, squashing it down, get rid of any wrinkles at the bottom. That's it. And again, turn the page till we get to another pocket. So this is my last day of doing some work today. It's all fun stuff I do anyway, but pretty much. But time to just not feel they have to be busy. And I hope that you're going to take some time off too. That's definitely slipping. Great thing is a paper you can reposition until you're happy. As you can see, I've just got one page sticking out there, so turning through the pages. I'm having to turn it through at the back as well. And then again, you've got a pocket there, pop your finger in, squash it down. And again, keeping it in the middle there. Great. Let's check how it's going. Looks good. So there we go. Right, so if you turn it the other way up, it's more obviously becoming a tree. And in just a second, you're going to need your scissors. So far it's all been the folding, and the folding's really important, but we're going to use scissors in just a moment. So in a moment, we're going to cut the trunk. So the bottom of the trunk, just to see where that should be, take the bottom, I'll do it so that you can see that little gap, and fold it up to that midpoint, to the point at the bottom of that line there. And then the same with the other side. Folding up and keeping it straight there. There we go. And then undoing, I think it looks a bit like a kind of a tall ship or something at the moment. Undoing those. So you've got a little line there, and that's really just to show you where to cut, that's all. So I'm going to take my piece of paper here where I get ready for little bits which will come off it, and just cut. Also quite nice cutting. Got nice little nail scissors. I have seen that Japanese scissors can be quite different actually. Yeah, that's it. All right. So our next step is to be able to make the trunk. So we've got it the right height, but what you'll need to do is a cut at the side and then trimming off that bit there. So I'm going to do a cut there, and I'm going to do the other at the same time, about the same, as close as you can to the same width. And now I just need to remove this area. So I'm going to twist it around and cutting that out like so, and the same with the other one. How are you doing? I might pause at this point to check that you're. You can see it's looking lovely, isn't it? It's looking like a tree already. And you could leave it smooth like that, but it looks much better with the little branches and the textures that you get. And also this all starts expanding a bit without the cuts. Actually, the cuts give it a better structure. So there we go. How are you doing, everybody? Are you keeping up? Do you need me to slow or explain anything? A bit hard once it's cut, isn't it, to go back? But a bit of coffee. Laura, is your tree the right colour? Did I? Yeah, I misled you on the very first bit, didn't I? And at least I realised. So my tree, great, Laura, excellent. So the tree that I brought back from Japan has got 3 cuts. So you could either do, it depends on the size of your tree actually. I think I've also done 1, 2, okay, 3. Yeah, so 3 looks good. Hey, honey, don't be. We're making our own little lovely festive trees. Excellent. So enjoy if you're just watching. Enjoy. Yes. Oh, lovely to have you here, Katie, as well. So what I'm going to do is 3 cuts, and I guess sort of evenly distributed. And when I'm doing a cut, I'm going to cut about halfway to the middle line, so it's about halfway. Obviously not all the way across. Yeah, I'm absolutely here, Alberto. Ongoing, particularly as times are more difficult again, I think it's going to be needed more than ever. So my own work, this really comes from my work in a hospital. Also, actually, it's part of Weekend Origami, which is a project as well supported by the lottery. So it's kind of a mixture of those two, of work I do for the hospital as well as reaching out to the wider community. So again, I'm continuing once a week, live folds from start of next year again. I'm just giving myself a gap of a week. But there are videos recorded and they'll be released again every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. in the UK. It'll be released. So there's still videos there for you to make. So on Christmas Day, I'm sharing a fold that I've discovered myself. I hope you'll enjoy. A little bit of a challenge. It might be good for Boxing Day as well. So, yep, it all continues, but also a little break in the meantime. Hello, Katie. So I am going to do a cut, as I said, about halfway to that middle line. 1, 2, and then 3. Done 3, and now I'm going to cut opposite, the same sort of level, same kind of thing. And one last one. There we go. So this is how it's looking. I encourage you to enjoy the feel of this, actually. It's just fantastic how the cuts have also just changed the feel of the paper. I love it. It really feels great. I really encourage you to enjoy the feel of this as well. So to make it lovely and textured, you can see it's gorgeous when it's done like this. So I will show you, which is to take one of these cuts and just folding it down at a little angle and pressing it down, and then go up to the next one. Obviously, you're just doing that one layer, which is kind of 2 layers of paper, really. and squashing that down like so. And doing that for each one of them. Here we go. Tactile fun. Exactly. It really is. This feels even better. This feels great, but this feels really great. Yeah, maybe it's touch that we've been a little bit missing in these times. So enjoy safe, gorgeous touch. And yeah, enjoying that here. So I'm doing it so they face each other. Like so. Looking nice. And once you've done that, turn to the back. Same thing again. Taking the top layers. And folding down, but just that one layer. Because otherwise, if you fold over lots of layers, then it won't be able to open up the tree. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit fiddly and slow. That's what it's all about. Taking time out. There we go. Make yourself a nice little wonderland of these. So it's like this front and back. And again, like leaves of a book, open up that leaf, turn it over again. Lovely crunchy noises. And it should look like this. And it's the same thing that you're folding that down. I'm just enjoying the feel of it. I hope, Eric, this is still, even though you're not folding and cutting yourself, I hope you're getting some of the feeling of how nice it is. Just from watching and hearing the crunkly noises. Again, this side. It does require a lot of concentration, this actually, surprisingly so. I don't know if you're finding that. It's the kind of thing which you can imagine that your tongue coming out. Concentration with something like this. And again, I'm going to now, there's one side that I haven't done yet, so it's sort of three-sided a bit at the moment. Again, opening the pages. I think you're all equally busy because you're not so chatty on chat because your fingers are too busy. That's good. I'll just be Eric who's free. Oh, you're very welcome, Stephen. I'm sure you must know this one. And it's, for me, very special to have brought it back from Japan. And it's really enchanting. I think it's a delightful little tree. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice idea. Honey, yeah. You have to read. It's amazing how much concentration this requires. But lovely. Oh, you're very welcome, Alberto. That's very kind of you. Thank you for coming along and supporting. It's much appreciated. Oh, that's a great idea, covering with lovely sparkly holographic dust. That would look really nice. I mean, this already looks quite wintry and beautiful, but don't you think it's now become a much nicer shape for these cuts and these and the folds, of course. But it's tightened it up, whereas otherwise it starts kind of opening up wide. And it's really nice. You can get together. Oh, my little flurry. I wonder what else we could do with that. Like snow itself, isn't it? But it should be able to stand up. You can get quite a few little ones, different papers, different sizes. It's my little one, Japan as well. Oh, I hoped it's worked. Hope you've enjoyed it and the feel of it, and that just chance to slow yourself down and make something very special for yourself and for others as well. I think origami is one of those things where you make one or two for yourself and you really enjoy it, and then you're like, oh, it'd be nice to make a few more, then I can give it to others as well, and they'll appreciate it too. So wishing you all, I hope, a Merry Christmas, whatever your background, that this is just a time for trying to encourage some kind of cheerfulness, I suppose, and lights, and just a little moment to kind of forget about things as best you can, obviously while looking after yourself. I hope that you've all managed to get boosters, or that you can seek that soon and encourage others as well. It's the only thing that we can really do to really help, and obviously as well as masks and not meeting up with too many people as well. It's such a hard thing, isn't it? As I said, I feel like I'm sacrificing again, not seeing my own family, which is hard, but have to do that to do the right thing as well. And whatever that is, we all have our own decisions as to what we feels right, but certainly boosters will help. So you're very welcome. I'm wishing you all a happy and a healthy new year. It's just chatting and not having enough coffee, I think. Feeling completely well. Many tests as well, and a booster, of course. So I hope you can just have a lovely, lovely couple of weeks. Do some lovely things for yourself. Just enjoy being cozy. I suppose it depends where you are in the world. It's not going to be the same in Australia or New Zealand, is it? But I hope you can enjoy this time of year and reach out to friends and family maybe you haven't been in touch with over the year. And just celebrate the light in this dark time of year, and our need to look after ourselves, make decorations, make special things, tell everyone you care about them. These kind of things. We need to do it, don't we? Oh, you're very welcome, Wendy. Yes, I was about to call you David again. So, Merry Christmas, happy and healthy New Year, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Hello. And I hope you can join me then, and we'll have something else. So yeah, and as I said, there's still a film being released this Saturday and the Saturday after. Yes, honey, it's been solstice as well, isn't it? It's winter solstice. So was it yesterday? The shortest day of the year for us. So it's only going to get better. Let's hope so anyway. Take care of yourselves. Thanks everyone. Thanks for supporting. Look after yourselves. Bye bye.